Rydell High looked like a glossy postcard, lettermen jackets, summer nights, and a carnival ride into the sunset. But when the cameras shut off, several cast members rocketed into stories so dark they'd make even Coach Calhoun blow the whistle. Some battled cancers that kept coming back like a reprise. One tumbled from lovable nerd to locked ward, and another rode headline-making lawsuits that out-talked his box office hits. Tonight, we're lifting the stage lights on 8 major Grease names whose real-world fates ended in hospitals, courtrooms, or guarded facilities. Keep an ear out. Each segment closes on a mini-cliff to pull you into the next scandal. Ready? Let's step out of the gym and into the shadows with the woman who sang about teenage dreams, yet spent her final years chasing one more sunrise. Olivia Newton-John was already a chart-topping angel when she squeezed into those black leggings as Sandy. What the audience never saw: months of legal warfare after Grease wrapped. In 1979, she sued MCA Records over unpaid royalties and won a landmark settlement that rewrote artist contracts for a generation. But real devastation arrived in 1992, a breast cancer diagnosis that would relapse twice, spread to her spine by 2017, and shadow every tour schedule she announced. Rather than hide, she built the Olivia Newton-John Cancer and Wellness Center in Melbourne, pouring millions into patient treatment and research. When longtime partner Patrick McDermott vanished during a 2005 fishing trip, fueling rumors he'd faked his death in Mexico, Olivia refocused on philanthropy instead of tabloid warfare. Her final Instagram posts urged women to schedule mammograms. On August 8, 2022, she died at 73, ending a 30-year on-and-off battle, but cementing a legacy bigger than any letterman dream. But while fans mourned Sandy's graceful exit, Rydell's class valedictorian was hurtling toward handcuffs. Back in the bleachers, Eugene Felsnick was the harmless geek who dove under tables. 40 years later, actor Eddie Deason became a headline regular, for all the wrong reasons. In September 2021, he was hauled out of a Maryland diner after throwing plates at officers. 4 months later, police found him inside a nursing home he'd allegedly trespassed twice that day. Charged with 4th-degree burglary, trespass, and disturbing the peace, he appeared in court only to be declared mentally incompetent to stand trial and remanded to state psychiatric care. Friends blame a lifelong, untreated disorder, amplified by fame's fade-out. The once prolific voice actor who cheered kids on Dexter's Laboratory now spends days in therapy instead of sound booths. And yet the best dancer at St. Bernadette's met a twist of fate just as sudden and just as cruel. Cha-Cha Di Gregorio owned the Rydell dance floor, hips whipping so fast Danny almost lost his comb. Off-screen, Annette Charles was leaning against cars to hide agonizing cramps, a rupturing tubal pregnancy that nearly killed her during the Thunder Road shoot. She survived, earned a master's in social work, and later lectured at California State University until July 2011, when doctors found a tumor in her lung. A lifelong non-smoker, she asked friends not to cry. Then, on August 3, 2011, she slipped away at 63. Jeff Conaway, Kenickie himself, wouldn't be so lucky when painkillers started replacing grease-lightning adrenaline. He flung open the garage doors and hollered, "Greased lightning," but that stunt threw Jeff Conaway's back out for life. Prescription painkillers followed, then cocaine, vodka, anything to blunt the throb. By the 2000s, he was barely speaking, mumbling through VH1's Celebrity Rehab, threatening to off himself on camera, OD'd more times than a jukebox's skip button. In May 2011, EMTs found him unconscious. Pneumonia had turned septic. Machines kept him alive for 2 weeks until family pulled the plug on May 27, 2011. Autopsy listed aspiration pneumonia, septic emboli, and drug-induced encephalopathy. But leather jacket rivals weren't immune either. One faced a virus Hollywood feared to whisper in '94. Crater-faced tough guy Leo Balmudo terrified the T-Birds. Actor Dennis Stewart terrified casting directors who'd never cast an openly gay dancer in 1980s action flicks. Work slowed. Nightclubs replaced auditions. And in 1993, he received an HIV diagnosis. 12 months later, AIDS-related pneumonia overtook him at just 46. Ashes scattered at sea. Denim jacket folded away. His death barely skimmed entertainment columns. Yet fans still cheer the drag race villain who floored the gas harder than anyone on set. Even the perkiest cheerleader at Rydell couldn't outclap fate's final whistle. Patty Simcox's megawatt grin earned famous side-eye from pink ladies, but actress Susan Buckner ghosted Hollywood by 1982, choosing motherhood and children's theater over red carpets. The former Miss Washington resurfaced in May 2024 as heartbreaking headlines. She had died peacefully, surrounded by loved ones, her publicist said, refusing to detail why. She was 72. Buckner's sudden exit reminded fans that even low-drama lives can end in unanswered questions. Contrast that with the film's cranky coach, whose demons made headlines long before social media could dunk on them. Decades before TikTok sketches, Sid Caesar invented TV sketch comedy, then nearly lost everything to a cocktail of booze and barbiturates. He later dubbed a 20-year blackout. The binge climaxed in a 1977 on-stage collapse, but rehab stuck. 1 year later, he barked orders at Danny Zuko as Coach Calhoun. Caesar stayed sober, mentoring young comics and collecting lifetime honors until respiratory issues stole his breath on 12th February 2014. He was 91, proof you can outrun addiction if you trade hooch for humility. And yet, the T-Bird King himself still dances, with lawsuits and rumor mills nipping at his heels. Saturday Night Fever carried John Travolta from Rydell High to global superstardom, but 2012 tried to knock the pomade off his quiff. Two anonymous masseurs filed $2 million harassment suits. Both evaporated once flight logs showed Travolta miles away. He countersued for malicious prosecution, dodged a defamation case from writer Robert Randolph, and shrugged off leaked cross-dressing party photos that tabloids swore rocked his marriage. Personal grief cut deeper. The loss of 16-year-old son Jet in 2009, a seizure. Wife Kelly Preston to breast cancer in 2020, and sister-in-law Rona Newton-John 5 months before Sandy's own passing. Professionally, a string of box office bombs, Gotti, Speed Kills, Paradise City, proved star power isn't grease-proof. Yet, there he is on social feeds, teaching daughter Ella how to waltz across an empty airport lounge, whispering, "Grease will always be the word." From chart-topping ballads to psychiatric wards, from lung cancer hospital beds to 20-year blackouts, the Grease alumni wrote epilogues nobody could choreograph. Which fate floored you hardest? The angelic Sandy's 3-decade cancer war, Eugene's locked ward descent, or Kanicki's lethal tango with opioids? Drop your pick below, smash that like, and hit subscribe, because next week we're peeling back another classic film whose backstage tragedies might just eclipse the on-screen magic. Class dismissed until the next roll call at Rydell High.